What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Therapist Logan Reacts. Today we are doing another song by Ren. This is another highly requested song on those renegades who commented down below on some of my older videos. This is Ren, The Tale of Jenny and Screech. I'm told that this is a very meaningful one. I'm not sure if I'm going to release it in a part 1 or part 2. This is a longer song, so just be on the lookout for that. But yeah, so let's jump right into it and go from there.
It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone, she was dragging her feet. She was heading back home to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, because she walked it about 1,000 times before. She wanted to escape. Can you blame? Well, on the very same night, in a different place, there walked this hooded young youth by the name of James. He was 14 years old and out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the street. His mates called him Screech. He was quick on his feet. He was a liar, a thief. At 14 years old, the devil had set his sights on his soul. As Jenny walked home all alone, she felt scared. Usually she was alright, but it was like there was something in the air. A divine intervention telling her to beware. Maybe intuition bugging her and making her so scared. Sirens sound in the distance at the beat of Jenny's feet. A symphony of the night that echoes crime on London streets. Jenny turns a corner, their eyes they meet. Our poor girl Jenny, a boy named Screech.
Again, this is just to commend Ren on his ability to tell stories and facilitate just the creative idea and paint a picture of what's going on. The entire first 2 minutes of the song, I was able to fully just picture everything kind of happening within my own mind, and that just goes again to show he's just really good at painting that picture, and just what's one of my favorite things by him just specifically.
Give me all your money, bitch, give it to me. If you cooperate, then you'll soon be free. I want your purse, your phone, don't fucking look at me. I mean it, bitch, are you listening to me? Jenny freezes statue like a lady shakes stalactite. Feel like liquid nitrogen in the dark night. She tried to find strength to move, but stayed as still as a statue in high-heeled shoes. What the hell you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to fucking God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it, girl? You don't know me. The last thing you see will be a boy code. Screech reached with the sheath of the blade, with the teeth that could bite through steel and slice concrete, and he swung possessed with the devil in his chest, and the statue she was turned to butter in her breath. It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny lay still on the cold concrete. She's found somewhere to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, 'cause she'd walked it about 1,000 times before. I guess that she escaped. It's such a shame.
Okay, so here it seems like we're kind of pivoting to a different part of the song. Okay, so it looks like it's Screech's tale. So did I miss? Is this Jenny's tale? I don't know. I didn't get this C part, but okay, so if the song sounds like it's depicting a mugging of some sort in London City, and it sounds, again, he talked about Screech being this person kind of with the devil had this person Screech's soul in his eyes, and being a kid of the street again, and it's something that I have experience with. I've worked with individuals who come from those backgrounds, and it's really difficult when these individuals believe it so harshly that that's who they are and that's who they'll ever be. It's really hard for them to kind of overcome what's been either beaten into them, what's either been kind of like structured for them, or just again reinforced in them. This ideology of that, like, this is all I have to offer, this is who I am, and I'll never change kind of deal. So that's been something I've noticed. And again, like, just a lot has to do with the idea of ego and what we believe in ourselves and who we believe to be and how we want to be perceived by others. And that's why it seems like Screech was so quick to take Jenny's freezing as disrespect, and again, just swinging the knife, as it seems. And yeah, Jenny displayed some key components of fight or flight or freeze. Fight or flight is the typical thing when you're experiencing a traumatic event, that our animalistic brains kind of kick in and try to do whatever it can to keep us safe. So again, people know it as the fight or flight, but there is a third one called freeze, or there's actually a fourth one too. A lot of people don't know. It's called or submit. That's a whole different one. I don't want to get too much into it because we got a little bit to talk about, but if you want me a more in-depth explanation, I can make a whole video on that separately because there's a lot to that one. So it seems like that's kind of what happened to her, and unfortunately her freezing was perceived as disrespect, and Screech kind of capitalized on that, and seems like he swung the knife. It's a sad story. This one seems like it's going to be Screech's perspective. Shredded. Screech's tale.
Our story, it starts right at the end, at the life of poor Jenny, clocked out like Big Ben. Dear Screech, dear boy, where did he go? He melted into the black night just like snow. Patrick, man, let me in, please open the door. I think I fucked up, Patrick, really fucked up, man, I'm not sure. I got crazy, left this lady lying still on the floor. I think I killed her, Patrick, come on, man, I can't knock no more. But Screech kept on knocking till his knuckles became sore. But there's no sign of Patrick down at number 54. No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away. Hey, babe, are you in? Nah, nothing really, I'm just a bit tired, listen. Can I swing around yours for a few moments? I just really miss you, babe. What the fuck do you mean you're busy? You fucking bitch! For fuck's sakes! Siren sounds approaching like a banshee in the night. The shrill cry of justice cutting like the sharpest knife. But Screech was never one to run, not one to miss a fight. One hand upon his blade, he turned to face the blue lights. Come on then, you fucking cunts, let's fucking have you then. I am Screech, I'm the boss, I'm the ender of men. You think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech.
Interesting. So again, we see that shift in dynamic, similar to what I was saying before, this identity and idea of ego and how it plays a role in us. There is that initial feeling of disrespect where it leads up to the hurting of Jenny, and now he was showing a vulnerability and fear of what he'd done, recognizing that he fucked up, he done something wrong. He's able to recognize and reflect on his kind of taking accountability, like, oh, dude, I shouldn't have done that, all this stuff. And there's that fear, and there's that reality of who his self is. He knows, like, his morals are coming back into play. And now again we see that other switch to that other identity that is more aligned with the street mentality, that idea of where he grew up kind of living from that kind of environment and what it kind of made of him. And now he's again, it's, you think those uniforms scare me. I'm not scared. I'm a tough guy. I'm this ender of men. I'm this person of, and it's again, it seems like this song's really reflective on identity and who we are, how we see ourselves, how we want to be perceived, and how it can really, really set us up for failure if the environment or how we grew up, and recognizing some of those things that play a factor in who we are, can set us up in really negative situations if we don't have really good reflection or really good understanding of who we are and who we want to be. Our identity and our ego are very big factors in how we see the world and how we want to be seen.
Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest. Our story, it ends right at the start. Young Screech and poor Jenny lying 1 street apart. An officer shaken by the boy that he claimed. 2 bodies lay lifeless, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame.
Again, very good depiction. I watched that entire time. I could see it happening in my brain. Violet's tale. It's Violet's. Okay, we're in a hospital. So good with the guitars.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beeps and bloodstains, she saw a lady weep. She's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale. Violet was a silent girl, grew up with violent starts. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. I'll spare you with the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew.
Here it seems like he's kind of hinting at the fact that there was with Violet, there was sexual abuse that occurred with the father. Again, sparing the thoughts, or sparing you with the things that he did because he said tucked her in but didn't leave. This is something, unfortunately, that does happen, and it's extremely difficult, and it's very hard when somebody goes through something this traumatic and something of this nature. It's heartbreaking that people have been through this, and unfortunately children especially, and it's all the more reason to work through it, because that trauma will stay with you, and you don't deserve to have that kind of live with you and influence you for your life. It doesn't define you, but it is important for you to learn to process it and recognize the trauma that done for you wasn't your fault, and you continue living on is just a feat in itself. And just, again, treating yourself with kindness, going to therapy, doing what is needed of you, because living with something like that has to be one of the hardest things to kind of do. So if you are a survivor or know somebody, and just being there for support and letting them know is all you can really do. And unfortunately, that is very much a significant talking point when it comes to being a therapist, and seeing it. It's a hard one. That's definitely a hard one, but that's why we're trained. It's important to me because to be trained in that and not shy away from those conversations, because I want to be there. If I'm not going to be there to hear their stories and walk with them, who's going to? And that's like kind of my drive when it comes to being a therapist and hearing very hard stories and just some of the traumatic things that people have been through. That's my drive. So yeah, just know that people are out there for you to talk about and help you with that journey. You're not alone.
Violet was a silent girl, she moved out at 16. A semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme. Packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet she fell fast. See, Stevie was the wrong un, but he sure knew how to charm her. Every night he'd talk her tight, but never left the room. History repeats itself, he'd paint her black and blue and
So Black and Blue, this kind of, again, he similarly used very similar words, maybe indicating, again, either a sexual abuse, but more leaning towards domestic violence in this instance, painting her black and blue. Seemed like referring to bruises. And again, history does repeat itself. It's difficult when you've experienced something traumatic, and all the more reason to search out for those resources and therapeutic services that can help you process and get rid of those things so you don't fall in some of those cycles. Because when you experience something like that, sometimes your thought processes and your core beliefs aren't really true to who you are, and they have been distorted and fractured and influenced by those traumatic events, where you may feel as you don't deserve good things because bad things have happened to you. And that's all the more reason, again, to seek out therapy and get a therapist that you vibe with and do well with, and that's a good therapist that can help you through some of those things, so that way you don't settle for what you think you deserve, because you deserve a lot, because you're just a human.
You never stood a chance. The devil comes to dance. Violet, why are you always so quiet? on her bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, he's up late. And he stands by her bedside, she shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, why are you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fists when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood splat, bone crack, knick knack, paddy whack, one to the jaw and the tooth spat, detached fist connects and disconnects a bone. A quick deflect to misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you always so silent, Violet? Why you such a little liar, Violet? Do you think I wanna do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Well, say something, Violet. Silence. Fucking say something, Violet. Silence. Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet.
So here it sounds like it's depicting like this has occurred far too long where it's become too late. A lot of the time this does become kind of the end scenario when it comes to domestic violence. If you or a loved one or anybody you know is struggling with that, please seek out the resources or provide the resources that are available in your city, in your area, whatever it may be, because if staying, your life can very much be at risk. It is very much a dangerous situation to be in. And here it seems like, again, like the domestic abuser is taking it too far. And again, just pushing it limit and just hurting, constant hurting, and just again doing too much to the point where this person might pass away from it. We see that a lot.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins aligned side by side. A girl named Jenny.
Wow.
And a boy named Screech.
Wow. Wow. I'm speechless. Wow. What a way to wrap up. I was so confused by the Violet story. Wow. I think that is such an unbelievable way to kind of wrap that up. I did not expect that. And I think it's so interesting because it aligns very much so with backgrounds and how we grow up. And this was, again, the last story was, again, a precursor, like the mom, the one that was, again, beating all the thing. Like, the children may not have any idea or aspect of it, or like maybe they heard stories after the fact, but because of the situation they probably, again, were separated, probably in the foster care system, and separated, and they lived such different lives, but they were ultimately ended up, again, one seemed to be more grew up in the streets area, again, Screech, and then Jenny, again, just has her own apartment, is working, doing this stuff, and just the fact that, like, our familial trauma can follow us no matter what is kind of something that comes to me as a therapist reviewing this. And familial trauma will be passed down generation to generation. And if you're not familiar, like this screams like family therapy and like what that can do for you, and like tracking family trees and genotypes is what they're called. Bowen family therapy is a really big one that's jumping out at me off the top of my head. And Bowen family therapy is really good therapy if there's, again, these very significant things that occur in your family. But wow, just like many difficult components, many difficult aspects of this family dynamic. And again, just how that anger may have been passed on to that Screech. And just like, again, it goes with that nature versus nurture, and those components being so important. And because again, there was a vision of Jenny being able to live this full, fulfilling life, and then Screech kind of again succumbing to maybe poverty, or just the foster care system, and just like the failures that kind of happened through there, and just how his life turned out and how they kind of interacted. And again, once they crossed paths again, it ultimately ended up with both of them. It didn't say that they both passed away, but they were both in not great situations. Yeah, wow. Thank you everyone for who commented this. This was a very telling story, and he did such a great job at depicting everything through it. I could like see the movie kind of going on in my head. Let me know if there's anything I missed. Make sure you comment down below. There was a lot to this, so I'm sure I missed something. Let me know what you think about this one too. I mean, I see a lot of you recommended it. And make sure you're subscribed too. I definitely want to kind of continue with this. Ren's such an awesome artist, and I'm really glad you guys put me on to him. But yeah, and I'll catch you next video. Thank you so much for watching.